Loud and clear. Hopefully you folks are able to hear me. I think it's just gone live on YouTube. There we go. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming along and welcome along to the coverage here in Austin, Texas. We are 30 minutes away from the start of the sprint race. We've just got Max Verstappen lining up at the end of the pits and a few more drivers also queuing up at the end of the pit lane, getting ready for the light to go green so we can get underway for the race. Yeah, Max just comes out of the pits there, and now he's going to be driving around. All the drivers are going to be doing reconnaissance laps around the circuit, getting a feel for the conditions for today, and to see how things are going. So yeah, Max and Tsunoda, first drivers out onto the track. Very nice timing. We do have 19 laps of racing around here at COTA. It's very, very likely that it will be a one-stop, most likely on the medium tyres. Track temperature is reasonably hot today with 42-degree track temp, 29-degree air temp, but still the hard tyres should be the right choice for... Sorry, the medium tyres should be the right choice for the sprint. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. What else have we got going on? Not too much, really, not too much. Of course, we did have quite the exciting qualifying session yesterday. Max Verstappen snatching pole away from the two McLarens. Nico Hülkenberg up there in 4th position. I mean, that was just outstanding from Nico Hülkenberg. Then, of course, George Russell in 4th place. Fernando Alonso in 6th, extracting as much as he possibly could out of that Aston Martin car. I think he had a fantastic lap. And I don't know if the Aston really had that much more pace, which Fernando Alonso could not extract. Antonelli also a little bit out of position, starting in 11th place. He is a little bit too far down compared to where he should be. And then, of course, we have got Yuki Tsunoda in 18th position, which is really, really far down compared to Max, of course, who's up in 1st place. Yeah. I had a fun game. Great to see you. Was sick last race weekend, but Max Verstappen has been on such a great tier lately. I don't expect him to win the championship, but it'll be great to see. Yeah, I mean, I think Max, the odds of him winning the championship look pretty slim as of right now. And to be honest, for things to swing in his favour, he's going to need a lot. He's going to need, he's going to need a DNF, a double DNF, that is. Or actually, he just needs Piastri to DNF from the sprint and also from the race. And Max has to win both of them. And in that situation, Max would be very, very close. Significantly closer. Currently, he's 63 points back. But if Piastri was to DNF, Max was to win the sprint and also the full race, then that would bring him from 63 points back to just 30 points back. So, yeah. Strategy pick. Folks, today it is just the medium tyres. No pit stops, of course, because it is the sprint race. So there's no sort of strategy for me to put up on the screen. It's just, just the medium tyres. All right. When did the face reveal happen? The face reveal happened, when did it happen? It happened last weekend in Singapore. Well, it was technically 2 weekends ago, but last race weekend in Singapore, we hit 200k, as you can see on that side of the screen over there. I don't know, can't move my hand properly. There we go. Right on the left side of the screen. And we also hit 10,000 likes. So, that's when we did a face reveal. Yeah, the drivers are just doing their reconnaissance laps. They are 26 minutes away from the start of the race, but they're just building up. Some of the drivers are already there on the grid. Max Verstappen is already there waiting, and so are some of the others. But they're just making their way around there. They'll have the national anthem and the whole ceremony thing before we get going. But 26 minutes till we start. Okay. Your English is so Englishy. Well, I do live in England, so that makes sense. Oh, folks, look at this. George Russell's... I was about to say George Russell's GPS is broken. It looks like it's working today. It was broken yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Norris will overtake Verstappen on the start. Well, I think if you go back and actually look at all of the replays of what's been going on and what's happened in the race starts at the US Grand Prix, very, very often it is that the driver who starts in second place is going to have is going to actually take the lead going into turn number 2 and turn number 1. So, maybe Norris will have a good shot, maybe he won't, but only time will tell. If Norris gets a good run, of course, we've seen it in the past, Norris not getting amazing runs, and yes, other drivers overtaking him, so I guess we'll see. All right, what are your predictions for tonight? Well, I did type in chat a little bit earlier on Hulkenberg podium, maybe. I have a feeling that, up in the top 3, things are going to get a little bit heated, and one driver is going to have a DNF, and Nico Hulkenberg is going to take a podium. But I think that's a little bit of a optimistic thinking, to be honest. Who knows what will happen with that? And I think that... let's see, what other predictions have I got? I think that Ferrari are not going to score any points in the sprint. I think Hamilton is going to drop back from 8th position, and the top 8 is going to comprise of teams that do not contain Ferrari. God help Ferrari. Yeah, I mean, Ferrari. Nico Hulkenberg is the fastest Ferrari-powered car in yesterday's sprint quali. Of course, he is driving the Sauber that's got a Ferrari engine, and he has, he's up there in 4th, and the Ferraris are in 8th and 10th. It's not ideal. F1 Gamer, can you speak Hindi? I'd appreciate if you don't spam all of these questions. I can. I do watch the occasional Bollywood movie as well, so I do understand it. But yeah. Prefer if we could keep it to English, because we are a international live stream. All right, pit lane exit is closed, folks. Nobody's starting from the pits as expected. All the cars are in good condition. Whatever issues there were with Carlos Sainz's car and Charles Leclerc's car during FP1, they got resolved in time for sprint quali, and they did not show themselves up again during sprint quali. So they are good to go. All righty. Where can I watch the race free with the VPN? What you can do is, let me just put it up on the screen. Get Surfshock VPN, get an Austrian VPN server, and then Google ORF F1, and you should be good to go and good to watch Formula One from there. So, yeah, that's about that. And let me just get a few things sorted out here on my second laptop, make sure I can read chat properly. Okay. A few other things to talk about then. We have got, what the drivers and what the teams will be doing during the sprint race today. They'll be looking at how much the medium tyres degrade, and based off the degradation that we see in today's race, they're going to predict whether tomorrow's strategy is going to be a one-stop strategy or a two-stop. If we do see a lot of degradation, a lot of the drivers start complaining about tyre wear, then it's quite likely that we will be getting a two-stop race. And of course, if the tyre wear is really good and not a single driver complains about it, then we'll probably get a one-stop. However, I do think it's reasonably unlikely that not a single driver is going to complain about tyre wear. The drivers are pretty good at complaining, and I have a feeling tyre wear is going to be no different today. Yeah. Okie dokes. Weasley, thanks for the donation. Sorry, I'm only joining your channel now. Been watching your content for quite some time. Keep up the good work. Keep up the great work, my brother. Let's go Red Bull. Thank you very much for the donation, Wesley. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. We'll see what Red Bull can do. Of course, Max Verstappen, I think when you say let's go Red Bull, I think you mean let's go Max Verstappen, really. Tsunoda is down in 18th position and very unlikely to be scoring points today. But Max Verstappen has scored nearly all of the Red Bull's points. In fact, I'll just bring the stats up here. So we've got the Drivers' Championship. You can see Max Verstappen, 273 points scored for the Red Bull team. And let's just bring up the Constructors' Championship now. We can see Red Bull have scored 290 points. So Max Verstappen scoring all but, I think, 17 points for the Red Bull team, which is quite astonishing to say the least. Then we have got... then we've got Ferrari. They're quite a few points back from Mercedes, actually. They had a pretty bad weekend out in Singapore, of course, with Lewis Hamilton having those brake issues, Charles Leclerc lifting and coasting for pretty much the entire race. That didn't help, and of course George Russell scoring some solid points brought Mercedes much further up in terms of that second place fight, and we'll see if Ferrari can get close to them this weekend. It looks unlikely, but they're ahead of at least Antonelli. Hamilton and Leclerc both ahead of Antonelli, but Russell is up there in 5th position, who's going to be scoring points, and that's where Ferrari ideally need to be, but somehow the Williams, somehow the Aston Martin, somehow Kick Sauber are faster than all of them. Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of this. Wesley, again, thank you for the donation. Yes, that's correct. Let's go, Max. Who have you got on the podium today? I have got Nico Hulkenberg on the podium. That's what I'm sort of guessing, and I'm gonna go with Piastri and Verstappen in some order. I think there's going to be some contact between Verstappen and Norris on turn 1, and Norris is going to come off worse, but let's see what happens. Because the thing is really that Ferrari, not Ferrari. Oh, there we go. This has happened for the first time. Thing is, going into turn number 1, it's just so unpredictable. I'll show you the onboard, in fact. Where is the onboard gone? It is here. All right, let's move it over here. So you can see the onboard going in towards turn number 1. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so you're going up this hill, and look at how wide the track is, right? I'm right here, all the way on the right-hand side, but to the left, you've got about maybe 4 car widths, so you can go 4 wide in towards turn number 1, and yeah, it's just a little bit ridiculous, really, like all of the different opportunities you can take. Just to reiterate here, folks, the driver that is starting on pole position will be here on the right-hand side of the grid, if I'm not mistaken. So the right-hand side of the grid for the driver who is on pole position, and then the left-hand side of the grid for the driver who's in second place, who's going to look to send one down the inside. Max Verstappen will be angling his car. So if this is the straight, Verstappen is going to angle his car ever so slightly to the left to cut across Lando Norris, and that will sort of be his aim. That's pretty often everyone's strategy. Any driver that is on pole position at turn number 1 will be, obviously if they're at pole position, they're going to be pole position at turn number 1, but any driver that's at pole here in COTA, first aim, just chop right across the driver in second place to make sure that they can't overtake, but it doesn't always work out. You do need a good start, and, we'll see how it plays out for Max Verstappen. Right. See, there's quite a lot of space on top of your head. It's better if you remove it. Oh, I'm just going to be making my face a whole lot smaller once the race actually starts, so you guys can actually read the team radios. It's probably going to be like this small over here, but for now, since the race isn't going on, I can make it huge, but it's probably not the best way of going about it, so I think it's fine for now. Yeah. Beautiful face. Thank you very much. It's quite nice of all of you folks. And what are the tyre compounds this weekend? I shall have a look. I don't know, somehow I've forgotten. I must have said yesterday what tyres we had, but I forgot. Let me just get... I think it's one of the hardest compounds. We're going to have the C5, I think, for Sorry, the C1 for the hard tire, C3 for the medium, and then C4 for the soft. So we're skipping actually the C2 tire. We are going directly C1, C3, C4. And the reason for doing this skip is that the medium tires are a little bit softer than the C2s. Which is what we would normally have around Kota, and essentially what that means is that the tire wear is a little bit higher, and because the tire wear is a little bit higher, we're going to get more pit stops. So C1 for the hard tire, C3 for the mediums, and C4 for the softs. All right. Wesley, thanks for the third donation now. That's really helping out the channel. Very much is appreciated there, buddy. 35 ZAR. I don't know what currency ZAR is, but thank you very much. Regardless of the points difference, can you see Max winning this year's title? Always happy to support my man. As I said, keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Regardless of the points difference, can you see Max winning? But I don't exactly know how that works. No, because you do sort of need a points difference. You need to he needs to close the points different ups to win the championship. So I don't exactly know what you mean, but I think that Max is going to need a lot of good luck to win this championship. He is, very far behind at this moment in time. There's 5 races left to go, and he's 63 points behind. That's a very, very big margin to close up. He's going to need some DNFs in his favour. Of course, he does have the benefit that we do have a few sprint races. Of course, this weekend's a sprint weekend. I think Qatar is also a sprint weekend, if I remember correctly, and so is the Brazilian Grand Prix. Let me just check on my phone here. Yeah, the Mexican Grand Prix is a normal race, but I think Qatar is a sprint race, and so is the Brazilian GP. So, a few extra points on offer there for Max, and yeah, we'll see if that helps him out, and if he can close that gap up. But he's going to need some luck in his favour. All right. Thanks, Wesley. I'm from South Africa. Currency is rand. Okay, interesting. What are the odds? What are the odds that Nico wins everything? A little bit unlikely. It's probably 1%. Yeah. In Brazil, we're crying now because the broadcast will change hands and the new owners will only show half the races. Oh, that is actually that's actually quite annoying, isn't it? The other thing is that now Apple are going to be broadcasters for Formula One in 2026 and onwards. It's not going to be ESPN, it's going to be Apple actually for the US market, which I don't know if Apple are going to increase the prices, but Apple typically does do that, don't they? Yeah. Wesley, thanks for gifting a bunch of donations as well. You're really the MVP of this stream so far. Very much is appreciated. I think we've got 10 people now with F1 Gamer memberships, so thank you very much for for being members, I guess. Yeah. Indeed, Wesley is a rich man. Hashtag WTF is a kilometer. Yeah, well, we are in America, so maybe maybe we're going to get some more of that. But no Logan Sargent this year. No Logan Sargent. We have got the Haas team, but they are in 16th and 19th position, unfortunately, which is just a little bit too far back. Okay. All right, so we have got 19 laps of racing here, folks. Also, the wind, it is 11 kilometers per hour, as you can see there at the bottom left of the screen, and the wind is going to be blowing in from the right-hand side of the track to the left-hand side of the track, so the driver's going to have a headwind going through turns number 1, 2, and 3, and all of the, sorry, not turns 1, 2, turns 3, 4, 5, 6, all of the high-speed corners are going to have a very big headwind, and then through the back straight, they're going to have a tailwind, which is going to be very, very handy for them indeed. All right, I'm going to take you through a flying lap of the circuit. So here we go. Let me just unpause it. All right, so you're heading up in towards turn number 1. Huge uphill braking. All right, so in towards turn number 1, because this braking zone is on such a steep hill, the drivers can brake super duper late. Now, when they're doing their quali laps, they all know, I have a reference point. I'm going to look at this maybe tree on the right hand side, maybe look at this bollard or whatever it is, and then they're going to hit on the brakes. But On the opening lap of the race, they're going to have slightly different conditions. Their brakes aren't going to be fully warm. Their tires aren't going to be fully warm. They're also not going to be approaching at maximum speed. You know, at this moment in time, I was approaching at 7th gear, 8th gear, 200 miles per hour, 190 miles per hour. On the opening lap of the race, you're only going to be going 100, maybe 120. So the problem with that is the drivers have to judge that one braking zone on the fly. They can't use any reference points. They just basically have to say, this is sort of what I feel like is a good braking point. They also have to take into account the steepness of the hill. So really good opportunity to make a move at turn number 1, and this is why we see so many overtakes on the opening lap of the race around here in COTA. Then late apex at turn 1, you have got a lot of runoff area there on the right hand side of the racetrack, which means that you can push a driver wide and then get past them. You know, you can use the ahead at the apex rule and push the drivers to the side and get ahead. So maybe that will happen at turn 1. Maybe Lando Norris will try to use that to his advantage. You know, Max Verstappen has very, very often used this strategy, send it down the inside. I'm technically at the apex in front, so see you later, get off the track and I'm going to overtake you. This time Norris is going to be on the inside line, Verstappen's going to be on the outside line, so that will probably change some things. And we'll see if Norris tries to use Verstappen's tactics against him. But either way, the drivers will then go down the hill, hug the inside line for turn number 3. And at this point now, for turn number 2, they hug the inside line. At this point, it's pretty much single file. It's a little bit unfortunate that the COTA start-finish straight is actually on the straight that we have on the left-hand side of the circuit. It would actually be so nice if the start-finish line was over here, where my mouse is, just where the speed trap is. Imagine starting the race here, and then you go into this amazing complex of corners for 4, 5, 6 corners. You can go battling side by side, slightly to the left, slightly to the right, loads of different lines. So a little bit underwhelming at the start of the race in COTA. You'll have one fantastic overtaking opportunity choice, and then the next following corners you will start just going single file, because it is, you're just going through an S section, and you never go through an S section side by side because it just loses you absolutely heaps of lap time. And then you continue on. You go a little bit over the crest here. The rear of the car actually twitches ever so slightly on the exit at turn number 9 as you're going over the crest, but the drivers are aware of that. Make sure not to go too hard on the opening lap of the race. And then of course you're going down in towards down the back straight. Someone made a very good point that the drivers do practice their race starts at the end of practice sessions. They line up on the grid and then they make their way all the way up in towards turn number 1. That is obviously a very good point. However, when they do that in practice, they don't have any drivers ahead of them for slipstream. They also, their brake temperatures, tire temperatures will be slightly different to what it will be in the race, and also the track is rubbered in slightly differently as well. So the drivers have a vague idea, of course, where they're going to brake from the stuff they did in practice, but the conditions aren't exactly the same. And I would say the slipstream is the biggest factor, but then of course the dirty air from the car in front of you tremendously reduces your braking performance, so you also have to take that into account. So a lot of different factors, and it's not directly applicable from your practice session directly to the race start. Yeah, but no, very good point, and thanks for pointing that out. So turn number 12, again, a very sharp corner. You can use the same sort of strategy, send a dive bomb to the inside, then push drivers wide. And then you get this fantastic sequence of corners, which I've got to say, one of my favourite slow speed corners, or section of slow speed track in Formula 1. Very often we have amazing high speed stuff, like through the Suzuka S's. It's incredible to see the cars go through there. But in terms of slow speed stuff, I'd say this is probably right up there as the best on the calendar. So many different lines that the drivers can take, loads of different overtaking opportunities, and we always see some great battles around here in COTA. You got a very, very long right-hander. Your front left tyre at this point is very much cooked. And then you tap the brakes, downshift to 5th, flick the car to the left. Same thing again, tap the brakes, downshift into 3rd, and then flick the car to the left. And that is the end of the lap at COTA. All right. So that is that. We're getting radio checks coming through. 7 minutes now, folks, till we get underway for the start of the race. All of the drivers have lined up on the starting grid, and we'll be getting underway shortly. Is it possible to go full throttle around the outside of turn number 1? It very much is not, unfortunately. You do have to, you definitely have to brake, and yeah. Okay. Got a few more things to point out here. Gabriel Bortoleto had a bit of a bad qualifying session yesterday. Didn't get a lap time set because he got a lap time deleted, essentially, because he exceeded track limits. Bit unfortunate, but sort of part of the learning process of being a Formula One driver. The track limits around COTA are a little bit hard to judge as well because you are coming in at such high speeds. So we'll see how Bortoleto copes. And once again, just to reiterate, if the drivers do exceed track limits on 3 occasions, they will get their lap time deleted every single time. But also, if they exceed track limits on 3 occasions, and the 4th occasion will be a 5-second time penalty. Okay. Are you going to display the radio during the sprint? Yes, I'm going to make my webcam smaller once the sprint race starts. So, yeah. What is your top 5 for the 2026 cars? I think that. Well, I don't know about top 5, but I think Aston Martin and I think Williams are going to be up there because James Vowles has been cooking. James Vowles, incredible engineer, I would say. And yeah, Williams are looking really good. Their progress has been fantastic. Their simulations have been incredible in terms of the accuracy. You know, we see very often with Aston Martin, they have loads of upgrades that come in, but they never 100% work. You know, some of them work, half of them don't. And Williams, it's like you bring an upgrade package and it's pretty much always worked. So they have that accurate simulation to real life translation. They have the ability to make sure their simulations are accurate. And that's very important when you're designing your 2026 cars. All right, folks, we've got the tyre information just coming up on the screen there. In fact, let me change it from qualifying mode to race mode. And you can see, I don't know why Gasly and Colapinto, it says that they've got different sets of tyres. That is a little bit irrelevant. But everyone's starting the race on a set of medium tyres. Some drivers on fresh sets. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Hülkenberg. George Russell is using a used set of medium tyres. So this sort of indicates that Russell is prioritising, you know, the full race. He did 5 laps on these mediums during qualifying. I think he must have done 2 runs on them. But regardless, he doesn't have that many sets of medium tyres. So he's saving a set of mediums to use tomorrow, maybe as a fresh set at the start of the race, maybe during the middle of the race at his final stint. But either way, the drivers that are using fresh sets now will have one less fresh set to use tomorrow for the actual race, and the drivers that are using used tyres now will of course compromise their race today, but will have a better race tomorrow because they'll have a fresh set for their strategy. Okay, Okie dokes then, folks. Also, be sure to hit the like button. Hopefully, we can make our way towards 4,000 likes. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button as well, that'd be fantastic and very much appreciated. We're getting our way towards 2,400 subscribers. 204,000 subscribers, which is very, very cool indeed. Alrighty then. Here we go, folks. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll be getting underway for the race very, very soon. And also the sprint race, the driver in first position will get 8 points, the driver in second position will get 7 points, the driver in third position will get 6 points, and so on and so forth, all the way down to the driver in 8th position getting 1 singular point. So that is sort of the points allocations in the sprint race that you guys have to be aware of. But yeah, let's see what happens. We've got a 5.3 kilometer long track here, a track elevation difference of 30 meters, just a huge uphill in towards turn number 1. And we've seen so many great battles there over the years. And, well, I think this one's going to be one to remember. Max Verstappen versus Lando Norris versus Oscar Piastri. We'll get DRS enabled on the second lap of the race. Currently, it has been disabled, of course, for lap number 1. And, yeah, Max's job, as always, break DRS and drive off into the sunset. And Piastri and Norris's job is to stop that from happening. 2 minutes left on the clock, we'll have the formation lap, and then once the formation lap is done, we will be getting underway for the race. What's the delay with the commentary in the F1 race? It's approximately 35 seconds from difference from what's happening in COTA really right now to what I'm commentating on in the race. But I think most TV broadcasts are delayed by about 30 seconds anyway, so there's only really a 5-second delay to the TV broadcast. Yeah. Okay then, so let's go from the bottom, folks. We have got Gabriel Bortoleto in 20th place. Then we've got Esteban Ocon in 19th for the Haas car. Of course, it's their home race. Will be nice to see if they can score some points. Then we've got Yuki Tsunoda in 18th position, Franco Colapinto in 17th, Behrman in 16th, Lawson in 15th position, Lance Stroll in 14th, Pierre Gasly in 13th. Quite a good performance actually from Gasly in the Alpine. Wasn't expecting him to be that high up. Then Isaac Hadjar up there in 12th position, out qualifying Liam Lawson once again. We've got Antonelli 11th, a little bit out of position there for Antonelli considering his teammate is up there in 5th place. We'll see if Antonelli can make up some places. Charles Leclerc in 10th after a bit of a bad day for quali with the Ferrari team. Then we've got Alex Albon in 9th, Hamilton in 8th, Sainz in 7th, Alonso in 6th, George Russell in 5th position, Nico Hulkenberg after a sensational quali. He was up in 4th position, Piastri in 3rd, Lando Norris in 2nd, who held the pole time for last year in 2024, a 1:32.3, but Max Verstappen is pretty good at breaking records, and he broke another one yesterday, and he beat the pole time and got a 1:32.1, did Mr. Max Verstappen. Jedi599, thanks for the donation, hope your week's going well, F1 Gamer, second podium for Hulk this season, maybe, that's what I predicted a little bit earlier on. We'll see what happens. I'm going to make, let me firstly get rid of this countdown timer, and secondly, I'm going to make my face a little bit smaller and pop that over here. There we go. So, you can see me going crazy a little bit, but then also you can see all of the data. And the formation lap is underway, folks. As you can see, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris weaving left, right, getting everything up into temperature as they drive through the first sector. Formation lap is underway, folks. All right, Max Verstappen is starting on the right-hand side of the grid, Lando Norris on the left-hand side of the grid. The right-hand side of the grid is the clean side of the grid, however, it is the outside line. The left-hand side of the grid is the dirty side of the grid, however, it is the inside line, and you can send one down the inside. So we'll see what happens. It's fairly even between the two drivers, and yeah. Okie dokes then, 174 points available, folks, right till the end of the season. We have got Max Verstappen trying to close a 63-point gap. We've got Lando Norris trying to close a 22-point gap. And then, of course, Oscar Piastri trying to score as many points as possible and make sure his rivals don't beat him to the championship. Folks, at the top right of the screen, right all the way at the edge of the top right, we have got the countdown time until quali. So once the sprint race is over, qualifying will be underway. But that is a little bit later on in the day. All right. Here we go then, folks. 12,000, 13,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button as well. Very much is appreciated. And hopefully we can... make our way towards 4,000 likes and have an absolutely incredible US sprint race, US GP sprint race. Don't disappoint your home fans, Haas F1. Yeah, I mean, Haas have already sort of disappointed them down in 16th and 19th. We'll see if they can turn things around for later on today in quali. But Max Verstappen makes his way towards the starting grid. Is the formation lap right now. And just lining up there on the right-hand side of the grid. Lando Norris getting ready to pull up to the left-hand side. Oscar Piastri is going to be right behind Max Verstappen. Is that his strategy? Slipstream Max Verstappen, then try to swoop round the outside? I don't think Max Verstappen is going to be having any of that. Anyone tries to go around the outside of Max, they find themselves very quickly on the side of the track. Okay, Hulkenberg's getting P3. Maybe Hulkenberg is going to get P3. Is he going to get it away from Piastri? Is he going to get it away from Norris? Or will it be Max Verstappen? But all the cars now lined up on the grid. While the top 4 are lined up on the grid, the final few are making their way towards the start-finish line. Why is Hamilton on 5 old tyres? We've got some drivers starting on old tyres today. They are looking to compromise today's race and have a better race tomorrow. That's why they're using a used set of tyres. Yeah, because if they use a used set today, then tomorrow they'll have a fresh set for the race. Okie dokes. Humidity is 57%, not too high really, and the drivers will very much be able to cope. They managed to cope with Singapore. They will definitely be able to cope with the Texan heat. But we have now got the last car approaching the grid. Gabriel Bortoleto lines up there on the left-hand side of the grid, and the green flag is waving, ladies and gentlemen. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It is lights out and away we go. Great start for Max. Chops right across Lando Norris. Norris gets a bad start and Piastri's looking to go around the outside. Fernando Alonso looks the inside at turn number 1. Oscar Piastri, there's contact. And Norris is spun around and so is Nico Hulkenberg. Oh my goodness me. Norris is spun around. Nico Hulkenberg gets sent to the back. And this is absolutely mental. Wow. Russell's in second, Carlos Sainz is in third, Hulkenberg's at the back, Lando Norris is in dead last, and he is stopped at the second. He's stopped at turn number 1. Is that going to fix it? What is going on? What is going on there with Norris? But Max 3 seconds up in the distance, yellow flags deployed. Oh my god, there's a front wing just flying about. Someone's lost an entire front wing. This is mental. Piastri's going slowly, so's Hulkenberg. Piastri's also got damage as well by the looks of it. Oh my god, this is exactly what Max Verstappen wanted. This is exactly what he needed. Norris out and Piastri out. They're not, I don't know if they're out for certain, but Norris is stopped on the side of the circuit. So is Piastri. Oh, there's a tire, stricken tire somewhere. Norris has stopped. This is mental. Okay, well, safety car's out. Safety car is out. Verstappen first, Russell second, Sainz third, and oh my god, this is yeah, Norris is out. Piastri is also out. Piastri stopped at the side of the road. What happened to Piastri? Did he get a puncture? This is mental, but Verstappen's championship chances are back. Well, I don't know. Back is a little bit of an overstatement. If this happens in the actual race as well, he would very much be back in the fight. But the McLarens are just shooting themselves in the foot, and Max Verstappen's like, well, you know, I wouldn't mind a race win. I guess I'll win. Papaya rules have struck again. Yeah, don't know what's going on here, folks. Okay, it looks like it's a double DNF. It is a double DNF. Alonso was going down the inside, had such a good race start. I don't know if he caused the contact or what exactly happened. So I've got the replay here, folks. So I'm going to try and describe it to you as best as I possibly can. So we have got Verstappen, great start for him. Alonso looks to the inside. Piastri has already got ahead of Norris. And, oh, okay. Hulkenberg crashes into Norris, who then crashes into Piastri. That's what it is. Hulkenberg into Norris, into Piastri, and it's game over. I think Alonso may have played a part in the contact. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Hulkenberg didn't see Alonso coming. We've just got the replay here with Hulkenberg, and no, it was Hulkenberg just had a terrible, terrible start, and did not keep control of his car. He crashed into Norris, who then crashed into Piastri, and Nico Hulkenberg has inevitably helped out Max Verstappen for the championship battle. Oh, wait, sorry. Wait, the other way around, folks. I said it the wrong way around. Hulkenberg crashed into Piastri and then Norris. Did I say that right? Or maybe I said it the other way around. Either way, yeah, Hulkenberg took out both the McLarens. As Sebastian Vettel would say, you know, you came down the inside like a torpedo, and that's wild. All right. Yeah, Baku 2018 is very similar to that. And oh yes, Piastri's front suspension arm broken. The rod itself snapped in half, so he's got no steering on his front right wheel. So yeah, there's no way that he could have scored points. His front right wheel is literally not like, he'll turn his steering wheel to the left, his front left wheel will turn like this, his front right wheel will just stay dead on straight. Ferrari in 4th and 5th position. We've got a few pit stops coming in after the, we've just saw front wing flying off the place. And it's Plan C for chaos. And Nico Hulkenberg, I'd like to point out, Nico Hulkenberg took out both of the McLarens and is still in the race. I mean, he's dropped down a lot of places, but he's still in the race. Mental. Will this affect the next quali? Unlikely, folks. That's a good question. However, because it is just one singular suspension arm or steering rod, whatever you want to call it, it should be a reasonably quick fix for Oscar Piastri. Lando Norris will have some more problems, maybe, because he got impacted at the rear of his car. That's where the gearbox is. And the gearbox, quite susceptible to braking, quite susceptible to just being bounced around and things like that. So, potentially some gearbox issues for Norris, but they might just switch the gearbox out, not even bother checking if there's problems or not. They'll just switch it out to be 100% sure. But as you can see, top right of the screen there, folks, 3 hours and 50 minutes till qualifying. So the McLaren engineers will have more than enough time to change everything up and change the parts, change the gearbox if needed, and they'll be good for qualifying. Is Hulkenberg channeling his K-Mag energy? Maybe he is. Maybe Nico Hulkenberg is. What website do you use to watch the Formula 1 coverage? You can use, it's going to cover my face up, but yeah, you can use Surfshark VPN, an Austrian VPN server, then you search ORF onto Google, and then you watch the Formula 1 coverage. All right, yeah. When is the safety car in? I'm not sure, folks. It's going to take a little bit of time to clear up all the debris. But is Russell going to get ahead of, is Russell going to try and overtake Max Verstappen, or is Verstappen just going to drive off into the sunset? Hamilton over the radio saying there's bits of debris everywhere, like everywhere. It's all the way from turn 1 all the way down to turn number 11. Honestly, it was huge amounts of chaos. Honestly, on the replay, I saw just a piece of front wing just fly off, like, out of nowhere. So, yeah, there's a lot of debris to clear up. It's going to take a little bit, folks. There is a recovery vehicle on track at turn number 9. So, essentially, I would say probably another 2 laps behind the safety car, and then we'll get underway for some more racing. The positions gained and losses are covered. Yeah, let me just adjust the data ever so slightly, folks, and you guys should be able to see that. Give me just a sec. There we go. You guys can now see the positions gained and positions lost. Yeah, we've got the biggest gainer, Yuki Tsunoda, up 11 places, just stayed out of trouble, did a lightning McQueen on the race start, dodging everyone left, right and centre, and up to the front, and the McLaren boys are not happy, and I mean, surprise, really. Lando Norris is a bit annoyed, but I guess from his perspective, it's not so much of a problem, because Piastri has also not scored any points, but, yeah. What can I say, man? What can I say? Who's your driver of the day, folks? Who is your driver of the day? Is it going to be Nico Hulkenberg for driver of the day? I don't know, but safety car's still out for a few more laps. Norris is more afraid of Verstappen. Yeah, I think he is, to be honest. Also, folks, is my microphone glitching out ever so slightly? I'm getting a little warning sign occasionally, but sometimes the warning sign is like a fake warning and it's not actually happening. But do let me know if my mic occasionally sort of glitches out or if it's fine, because I think it's fine, but I can't. Okay, seems like my mic is all right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting some warning here that my mic is totally going haywire, but sounds good. So, thank you for letting me know, folks. All right. Yeah, I don't know why Charles is so far off the back of Carlos Sainz. Charles, you probably want to catch up there. We've got a bunch of marshals all over the racetrack. The Mercedes safety car this weekend, weaving left, right, left, right. Everyone's building up the tyre temperature and keeping these medium tyres going. It should not be any sort of issue in terms of tyre wear for the drivers now, because they've spent, 4 or 5 laps now behind the safety car. So that means that, the tyres are going to be in more than good enough condition for the end of the race, because then, they've not been driving around that quickly. And to be honest, they've got some extra fuel in the car as well. Whose fault is it exactly? Well, it's not. It's neither of the McLaren drivers' fault. It's Nico Hülkenberg not having control of his car. To be honest, it was, of course, a little bit not unfortunate, but Alonso was right there on the inside of Hülkenberg. I don't think he caused contact. Hülkenberg just spun out of control on his own. But in essence, he did go and crash into one of the McLarens. Let's see. So I'm just watching the replay here. Piastri's on the outside. Hulkenberg is behind him. He crashes into Piastri, and then Piastri crashes into Norris. But it's Nico Hulkenberg's mistake for not having his car under control. This reminds me of Baku 2018. It is sort of like Baku 2018, but of course, in Baku 2018, the two Red Bull drivers took each other out, whereas on this occasion, it was Nico Hülkenberg taking both McLarens out. Charles Leclerc had a mega race start. Honestly, just so much chaos to the left, to the right of him, and he just went down the middle. Incredible from him, and he's up 6 positions for that move, so very nicely done from Charles. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, safety car is in this lap. Hulkenberg says massive sandwich. I don't know if I have damage. Definitely need a new front wing. I'm not sure. By the looks of it, it was. Of course, it was a sandwich. The track does tighten up at that point, and the drivers are well aware of that. But Hulkenberg had lost control of his car before he went into Piastri. So, He did a Bottas. He went bowling, took out the 2 McLarens, did Max Verstappen a favour. Nico Hülkenberg and Max Verstappen are pretty good friends, to be honest. We've seen that Verstappen has given Nico Hülkenberg a tow on quite a few occasions, and Hülkenberg has given Verstappen a tow on quite a few occasions. So maybe it's just best bros helping each other out. I'm being sarcastic there. Of course, I'm sure Nico Hülkenberg didn't have any intent on crashing into the McLarens. It was just an incident, as Charles Leclerc would say. But safety car is in this lap, folks. Safety car is in this lap. And, let's get underway for some fantastic racing then. Safety car's already going towards the pit lane. Max Verstappen backing everyone up. George Russell is 3 tenths behind him, crawling right under his rear wing, getting ready to go as soon as Max goes. And we'll see what he can do. Can Carlos Sainz also score a podium again? He's in 3rd position right now. He's got his former teammate Charles Leclerc behind him. Max Verstappen has gone at the end of turn number 17. And here he goes then in towards turn number 20. He gets a reasonably good exit, but George Russell is very much in his tail. In fact, a big tank slapper there for Max. That's not going to help him out. Russell versus Sainz versus Verstappen. In towards turn number 1 they go. Verstappen does not defend the inside, and Russell is a little bit too far back. Now, Verstappen's aim through the first sector, break the 1 second gap. That's what he needs to do. We'll see if that happens. DRS currently disabled, folks. No DRS on this 1 lap. We'll get DRS on the following lap of the race. Can Piastri get penalised for the main race? I don't think it was. We'll see. They say they've investigated it and they've said no further incident. So no further investigation at the lap 1, turn 1 incident. So there we go. No one's getting any sort of penalty. They think it's a racing incident. Maybe more of the blame lies on Piastri, maybe more on Hulkenberg, maybe more on Norris. I'm not 100% sure. It's, of course, down to your own opinion. But either way, the FIA have decided no further action for anyone. They've all DNF'd or are out of the points regardless. So it doesn't matter by the looks of it. What happened to Alonso? I think he got caught up in the damage and had to DNF. Right. Russell is not letting Max Verstappen drive off into the sunset. He is well within that 6/10 window, and DRS will be getting enabled on the following lap. Russell has done a fantastic job here on lap number 6 of the Grand Prix. 14 laps remain, and he's got 14 laps to overtake Max Verstappen. He's got a really good run as well, has George Russell. Great form back in Singapore, and he's continuing on as well. Fantastic. DRS enabled. He's not going to get it down this straight, but now through the first sector, if he can hold it within 1 second, the DRS detection point, as you can see there, just on the exit of turn number 10. So here is the DRS detection point, and if George Russell is within 1 second, when he goes through that point, he's going to have DRS, and well, he's going to fight against Max Verstappen. He does have 5-lap older tyres, but you have to remember that probably 3 of those 5 laps were slow laps coming out of the pits or coming into the pits or something along those lines. Oh, it's going to be close, folks. 9.5 tenths. He comes through the DRS section point, and it is Russell, I think, probably used a bit of overtake there, but he is within the DRS of Max Verstappen. Sainz has dropped back, but Sainz is now under pressure from Charles Leclerc. So let's see how it goes here. Russell did use a lot of his battery to stay within DRS. According to AWS, it thinks that Russell's got a 30% battery charge, Verstappen's got a 60. Either way, it doesn't matter. Russell's got DRS now, and he's chasing down the Flying Dutchman. And Charles Leclerc is chasing down his former teammate, Carlos Sainz. Okay. Sonoda's on the back of Albon as well. Purple through the middle sector for George Russell. He's looking very, very good there. And of course, the DRS is helping him out get a little bit more top speed in his car. How is the DRS point decided? It's decided by the FIA. They do their simulations to find which point is the best place to put it to make sure we get loads of overtake for racing. And that's where they put it, essentially. Yeah, Russell having to still stab at the steering wheel a little bit. He is losing a reasonable amount of front-end grip because of the dirty air that he's getting from Max Verstappen, but then he does go and gain all of that lap time back once he gets his DRS off him down the straights. So we'll see how long Russell can sit in this DRS. If he can close it up, if he can force a mistake from Max, maybe we see... This was now the second time we've seen Verstappen. In fact, no, this is the third time we've seen this season Max Verstappen on a safety car restart get a huge tank slapper. He did it once in Silverstone. He got that huge tank slapper, spun around, and then ended up like crashing out, or I don't know if he crashed out, but he lost a bunch of points regardless. And then we also had in Spain as well this season, he was on those hard tyres. The tyres weren't warmed up properly and got a huge tank slapper on the safety car restart then as well. This is now the third occasion he's done that, and it's allowed Russell to stay close to him. So yeah, if there's one weakness of Max Verstappen, it might have been his... Oh, Russell sends one to the inside wall! And he forces Max Verstappen wide. He uses Verstappen's rules against him, and Russell stays in second place, but he sent a dive bomb from so far back. It was like Daniel Ricciardo all over again. What a move from George. And now I'm sure he's over the radio complaining, oh, he overtook me off the side of the track, and he should give back the position, etc., etc. So let's just wait for them to come through there on the right hand side of the screen. So close there from George Russell. Max Verstappen has got the fastest lap of the race, and you can see here now they start the straight with a gap of 8.5 tenths, but with the DRS, with the slipstream, Russell goes in towards turn number 1. He gains a quarter of a second for free. He does absolutely nothing, no overtake button, no battery, and gains a quarter of a second because of the DRS, and that's just how powerful it is, folks. Verstappen over the radio says, "Mate, what is that?" He completely missed the corner, and I would probably agree with you there, Max, but also you've done that a few times, haven't you? So who knows? Certified Osama moment. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen that meme flying around quite often. It was quite the ridiculous dive bomb, but Russell very certainly goes off the side of the track, and Max Verstappen also very much off the side of the track. I also do have to put out... I don't know why my camera's gone suddenly very dark. I do have to point out that... the TV broadcaster's doing a good job here, not showing us images of Max Verstappen's girlfriend and George Russell's girlfriend, and actually showing us the racing. So thumbs up there. All right, the two Ferraris are squabbling. Hamilton trying to get ahead of Charles Leclerc. He does so. And, Leclerc down the inside. Oh, it's a little bit late on the brakes. But the two Ferraris getting extremely racy. There's no team orders that we can see there over the radio. And looks like the Ferraris are squabbling away like crazy. Russell has fell out of the DRS from Max Verstappen, and it's also been noted, in fact, for incident involving car 63 and car number 1 forcing another driver off the track. So we'll see if Russell gets a penalty, we'll see if Verstappen gets a penalty, or if they just let it go. I think they should let it go, to be honest. But he's left Verstappen. Verstappen's broke the DRS now. He's done what he's needed to do. Yeah. I also don't know why my thing has suddenly gone very dark. I don't know what's going on. But, well, it is dark outside, actually. So, anyway. Just drive 5 seconds faster. That will be the aim. That will be the aim. We'll see how it goes. Also, I should probably get some water. Yeah. Ten laps left of this race here, folks. 10 laps remain. Also, I'd like to point out that that Lewis Hamilton probably has a slightly better setup in terms of it being tuned to him rather than Charles Leclerc. Leclerc had quite major issues in FP1, didn't get a lot of running in, so his setup is a little bit off. So, if you are a Charles Leclerc fan and sort of a bit surprised that he's a bit slower than Lewis Hamilton, that might be one of the reasons why. He didn't get a lot of track time in FP1 because he had some engine issues or car issues, and because of that, his setup isn't perfect compared to where Lewis Hamilton's is a little bit better. That should change, though, for qualifying. They'll redo the setup once the sprint race is over. How is Yuki in P7? Yuki Tsunoda had probably the best race start that we've seen in centuries, because up 11 places, avoided all of the chaos, not a single piece of debris got anywhere near, and Yuki Tsunoda. He's up into 7th place. Verstappen's complaining over the radio, saying that the ride on the rear of the car is absolutely terrible. Verstappen complaining. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. Will it carry on? Probably. Is it going to have an impact on the race? I don't think so. 10-second slow-mo, yes. Let's put on the slow mode so we don't have millions and millions of chat messages. There we go. All right. Okie dokes. No mandatory pit stops here, folks. No mandatory pit stops. So the drivers will be going to the end of the race. 9 laps remain of this race. And we're on lap number 11 of 19. All right, Hamilton is actually closing that gap up to Carlos Sainz. It is the replacer versus the replaced. And who's it going to be? Lewis Hamilton gaining quite significantly, actually, on Carlos Sainz now. Gap down to 1.2. He's got to force a mistake from the Williams driver to get up onto that sprint race podium. Still, Hamilton has not scored a full race podium with Ferrari. He has scored a sprint podium, and in fact, a sprint win back in China. But yeah, an actual race podium still yet to be seen. We'll see if he can get another sprint podium, though. He is a few milliseconds back from Carlos Sainz's DRS, and in fact, look at this. Sainz does just enough. They pass through the DRS detection point, and it's 58 milliseconds is the gap between Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz's DRS. Leclerc says, sorry, stupid mistake. So I think he's referring back to when they were battling, when the two Ferraris were battling. I'm not 100% sure. But we've got a replay here. Liam Lawson looking to overtake one of the Alpines, and just sends one to the inside, pushes them, shows them the side of the track, and then gets that overtake done. Nicely done from Lawson, up into 10th place. Of course, it is a sprint race, so only the top 8 positions will be scoring points, but regardless, 8 points for the driver up in first place, Max Verstappen. That championship gap is 63 points. That is going to drop down to probably, well, if it carries on this way, if Max wins the race, that's going to drop down from 63 to 55. Is it going to be a smooth operation from Carlos Sainz? Well, who knows? Who knows? Also, folks, I would like to ask you guys: is there an F1 team radio that you find very applicable to everyday life? I find it. I guess if you're like a surgeon or something, like a smooth operator would be a pretty applicable thing. But yeah, is there any F1 team radios that are applicable to you guys in day-to-day life? We've got a few battles going on. Antonelli trying to get ahead of Behrman. We've got Ocon trying to get ahead of Gasly. And, yeah, quite the big battle, actually. Must be the water. Actually, yeah, must be the water's pretty good. You know, when you get a headache because you're dehydrated, must be the water. Stroll gets ahead of Bortoletto. Great move there by Lance Stroll. And, yeah, quite the good battle. We've got some more battles. Hulkenberg versus Isaac Hadjar as well, going through turns number 19, 20. Looking very racy indeed. Hamilton drops off the back of Carlos Sainz. He is 1.4 seconds off the back of him now. So, yeah, he was very close before, but he's getting a few lap times deleted as well as Lewis Hamilton. His previous lap was deleted at turn number 9 for exceeding track limits. So Hamilton's got to keep this under control, otherwise he will get a 5-second time penalty. Oh, okay. Leclerc's I am stupid. Fair enough, fair enough. GP2 engine because my car's not fast enough. Yeah, I can relate to that one. All right. Sorry I'm late. What happened to the McLarens? Nico Hulkenberg went bowling and took out both of the McLaren drivers. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, they're coming over the radio to George Russell saying we've got 2 strikes and we've got 2 strikes of track limits and we don't want to take any risks, so don't get another one. Because the thing is, if George Russell now gets a 5-second time penalty, that's going to result in him getting dropped down behind Sainz and behind Lewis Hamilton as well. So he's going to lose 2 full places there, which of course he does not want to do. So yeah, Russell's got to make sure that he does not crash, does not exceed track limits. Sorry. Yeah. Isn't it 15 points for a sprint win? It is not. It is 8 points for the driver in first place. All right. Yeah. 6 laps remain of this race, folks. Max Verstappen 2.3 seconds up in the distance. Not too shabby from him. It was not Nico's fault. It was Piastri's fault. I'll have a look. I've only seen the replay two times, so I'll have a look and I'll see maybe from Piastri's perspective, maybe from Hulkenberg's perspective. I'm not sure. Hulkenberg said that he got sandwiched. Piastri probably was like, I just got hit. So I don't know. It's a tough one at turn number 1, isn't it? Because there are 4 cars going into one corner, and the track is very wide, and then it sort of narrows down. So yeah, I don't know. You could probably just call it a racing incident. 3 drivers out. Hulkenberg lost 12 places, and Piastri and Norris out as well. And so is Alonso as well. So 4 drivers involved. Yeah, I would like to just point out that a lot of people are going to start discussing about, whose fault it was and if someone should swap the positions around during the race or whatever. And to be honest, there's not really much point discussing whose fault it was because, yeah, like the McLaren team were going to do what they're going to do, regardless of what I think, regardless of what you guys think. But yeah, probably just call it a racing incident, call it a day. That's what I would do. Antonelli trying to get onto the back of Ollie Behrman here. He's got some DRS as well to help him out. That Mercedes engine catching up to the Ferrari-powered Haas. But Behrman actually scoring some points here. I said it would be unlikely that Behrman would score points in at the sprint race because, he started so far down the pack, but no, he started in 16th, he's now up into 8th position, and brilliant race start from him. So, Behrman scoring some points for Haas at their home race. All right. Let's all play the blame game. Yeah, I mean, this is. I think this is how we're going to go. Norris fans are going to blame Piastri. Piastri are going to blame Norris. And then, yeah, it all just goes around a circle and everyone just gets annoyed for no reason. Do sprints have a fastest lap point? No, they do not. They do not have a fastest lap point. So it will just be your bog standard 8 points for first place, 7 points for second, and so on and so forth. Max fans, yeah, Max fans are going to be like, oh yeah, it was Nico Hulkenberg's fault, but I really don't care because Max is scoring a lot of points. So yeah. All right, 5 laps remain of this race. Max is 3 seconds up in the lead. Antonelli is trying to still overtake Ollie Behrman, but yeah. Add a drive of the day poll, folks. Can you just let me know who's your drive of the day? Yeah, I'd probably say my drive of the day has to be Yuki Tsunoda, just for that race start. 11th position, 11 positions gained was incredible. Avoiding all the chaos, having the spatial awareness for that, sometimes also getting a little bit lucky. Yeah. A lot of people saying Nico Hulkenberg. I think we've got quite a few Max Verstappen fans here in the chat. And you know, if Seb Vettel was racing, I would be very much cheering on. Oh, yellow flag. What's this? Ocon has stopped at turn 1. So Stroll. Ocon Stroll contact damage. Ocon's out of this race. Safety car's going to have to be deployed for that one. Stroll's driving on 3 wheels. Man, you can't drive with 4 wheels. Why are you driving with 3? Stop on the side of the track, please. Yeah, okay, he's stopping on the side of the track. Safety car's out. Ocon, Stroll, both out the race. We've got 5 DNFs in 19 laps of racing. What's going on, Stroll? Okay, well, that's it then. We're probably going to finish the race behind the safety car. There's no way that they recover this in that quickly. Ocon and Stroll, they're both out. Let's get the replay here. They're going in towards turn number 1. Stroll is very, very far back. He tries to pull a Daniel Ricciardo move. He realizes he's not Daniel Ricciardo, and he crashes into Ocon, and he's out of the race. Yeah, it was totally 100% Lance Stroll's fault there. Just down the inside, locks up, no steering ability whatsoever, and crashes into Ocon. He puts his hands out to say sorry, and I think that's the least that he can do. Ocon, I'm sure, is quite frustrated, but it is what it is. All right. Okay. Yeah, so we're behind the safety car by the looks of it. Safety car's out, and maybe we'll get 1 lap of racing right at the end of the race. Who knows? But we've got Stroll and Ocon out of the race. We've got a crane, in fact, already there. A crane and 3 marshals looking to pick up Ocon's car ASAP. And to be fair, if they've got another crane to pick up Stroll's car, we could get 1 final lap of racing. This would be that would be pretty good. Oh wait, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Why is it not zooming out? Zoom out. All right, there we go. It could be like Abu Dhabi, yeah. Why is the gap increasing? Because all the drivers, they all slow down, and because they slow down because of the concertina effect and everything, the gaps just start getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. We'll see if there's we'll see if we get some racing. We're currently on lap 17 of 19, and the drivers will be yeah, Ocon's out of the car, and I think Stroll carried on driving just so he could avoid Ocon, because Ocon, I'm sure, would be very annoyed at this moment in time, and Stroll has just driven away a few hundred meters down the road because he doesn't want to see Ocon. We'll see if he gets a time penalty for that one, because that was a pretty clear-cut, crash into another driver, or maybe he gets a grid penalty or whatever, but who knows. F1 Gamer, I just joined. What happened to Oscar, Lando, Alonso? They got taken out by Nico Hulkenberg's bowling. Or, just watch the replay, but essentially there was a racing incident at turn number 1. It could be, and you can decide for yourself who's to blame. But yeah, I don't want to stir up too much controversy, to be honest. So, yeah. This race is literally just survival, yeah. Honestly, I don't know what's going on there. Behrman and Antonelli were under investigation for leaving the track and gaining the advantage. We'll see how that plays out and if any penalties are dished out. But now we are just behind the safety car here. Max Verstappen is... well, he's got Russell and Sainz in his mirrors, and we'll see if we go racing anytime soon. When is the safety car ending? We don't know, folks. We don't know. There's a recovery car on the track. There's 2 recovery cars on the track. Not cars, recovery vehicles. So there's one picking up Stroll, there's one picking up Ocon. And yeah, they're both on the track right now, getting the cars, getting them off the side of the circuit. So maybe 1 lap of racing right at the end. That would be pretty nice, won't it? Okay. This is a serious combat race. Yes, Sonny Hayes would be very proud of this race, to be honest with you. Intense combat. And clearly, Lance Stroll did not build his car for combat, because if he had built his car for combat, he would have been able to overtake Esteban Ocon, but clearly they didn't do that. Yeah, Ocon, Stroll's been noted for causing a collision, so we'll see how that goes down. Okie dokes. Yeah. They're still clearing up the. It looks like Stroll has been cleared up. Ocon should be getting cleared up very soon as well. But folks, if we are going to have the safety car coming in, we're going to have to get the warning coming through in around 40 seconds or so, 40 seconds of time, and then we should get a warning saying the safety car is coming in. We've got the thing that's under review here is Behrman versus Antonelli. Behrman defended off the side of the circuit. It had all four wheels off the side of the track. But honestly, I would say it's, fantastic hard racing between the two drivers. So I would, it would be a bit of a shame to give Behrman a penalty for such a good defensive move. Admittedly, he was barely off the track, but we get very few hard races there. Oh my God. They've just given him a 10-second time penalty. 10-second time penalty for Oliver Behrman. Wow. For exceeding track limits by literally this much. And it's just zoomed in again. But, literally just like a tiny amount. And Ollie Behrman, 10-second time penalty. It was some good racing. And, yeah, I admit he was off the side of the circuit, so he deserves to maybe get a penalty in some sort of way. But I wish the FIA would just say swap around the positions. I wish the FIA had the ability to say that, because currently right now, also folks, it looks like the safety car isn't coming in. Yeah, the track is clear, but it's a little bit too late now. So I think we're going to finish behind the safety car. But my point being is that the FIA have the ability to say 5-second time penalty, 10-second time penalty, stop-go penalty, whatever. And yeah, Behrman's over the radio complaining, like, what the hell is that? That's incredible. That's incredible as in, that's incredibly bad. And how does the FIA even do that? But they should have the ability to say, swap the positions around within 2 laps of racing, and then you won't get a penalty. If the FIA had that in their arsenal of rules and penalties and things like that, I think it would make racing a whole lot better. But what can we do? We need F1 Gamer as FIA principal, FIA team boss. That's what we need. So will Oscar get a penalty? No. Oscar, it's been investigated, and it's a no further investigation racing incident. So yeah, let me bring up the championship standings. Actually, that's the big one that everyone wants to look at. So you can see the race there, but the race is finishing behind the safety car. So the big important things are Oscar Piastri, 0 points gained. Lando Norris, 0 points gained. Max Verstappen, 281 points. He's now 8 more points closer to a championship. So that's that, really. That 63-point gap that he's got right now between Piastri and himself is now down to 55. The gap between himself and Norris is down from 22. Oh, sorry, is down from 44 or whatever it is. I can't do the maths in my head now. 41 to 33, I think. But yeah. So either way, points gap has been reduced quite significantly between Norris and Verstappen and Piastri and Verstappen. So, all he needs is Hulkenberg to go bowling again, and then we will get Max potentially fighting for the championship. This also does mean that Carlos Sainz will end up on the podium. All of you Carlos Sainz fans, you'll be happy to hear Sainz is going to finish up in 3rd place. Thanks for the donation there, Jam J. Junar. But we are finishing the race behind the safety car. A 10-second penalty gets handed to Oliver Behrman, so he gets dropped down into pretty much dead last, to be honest with you. But Max Verstappen comes out of the final corner for a very, very anticlimactic finish to the US Grand Prix sprint race. The checkered flag is waving. Max Verstappen P1, George Russell P2, Carlos Sainz is in P3. Then we got Hamilton 4th, Leclerc 5th, Albon 6th, Sonoda 7th, Antonelli is in 8th after Behrman gets a penalty, and yeah, that is the sprint race, folks. There's going to be a lot of talk about this sort of collision, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to make too many more comments. I'm going to watch the replay myself. I'll have my own opinion. You guys will have your own opinion, and I think that is all good. Yeah, quite the eventful race, wasn't it? So, as you can see there, top right of the screen, you can see that quali starts in 3 hours and 17 minutes. I know a lot of people aren't actually going to be able to make that because it is at such a awkward time in the world for you guys. However, the sprint race tomorrow will be the actual race tomorrow will be at much more of a reasonable time. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to end the stream. I'll take you over to the actual race for tomorrow's, for the actual race tomorrow. However, the qualifying stream is up on the channel, and I will put a link to the quali stream in the chat, so you guys can actually access that if you are going to watch quali. But I know a lot of people don't have the best sort of time zones to be watching qualifying today. All right. I think that is the link to the quali stream. There we go. Okie dokes. Verstappen's still racing. Yeah, Verstappen's like, oh, come on, guys, just get into the pits. I wanna go home and do some more sim racing. But yeah, that's all from me, folks. So really big thank you for everyone tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. And what I'm gonna do is take you over. Yeah, I'll take you over to the stream for tomorrow's race. So if you want to watch that, then hit the reminder button, hit the like button, and if you want to watch the quali stream as well, there's a link to that in the chat, so you can find it there. And it's also up on the stream page. It's also up on my channel page, sorry. But that is all from me, folks. So I shall see you all in a few hours' time for qualifying, and yeah, bye-bye.